Hey guys, welcome back. It's been 3 weeks since my last upload. And for Star Wars, it has been a uneventful 3 weeks. Very uneventful. Outside of the Galaxy's Edge retheme announcement, um, we've been just kind of dead. We did have the Maul Shadow Lord trailer, which was very cool. I think that show's gonna be great, personally. Um, we have a Star Wars movie coming out in 3 months. I, have you heard of this? Do you have any recollection of like this happening? But yeah, we have one teaser trailer, one poster, and one 30-second Super Bowl ad of the Mandalorian and Grogu in a sleigh being carried by Tauntauns on Hoth. That's it. For a new Star Wars film. For the first Star Wars film since 2019. This is the marketing extent that we've hit. This is it. So that's our main topic of this video. Is trying to uncover what the fuck is going on with the Walt Disney Company in Walt Disney Studios right now. Because this is ridiculous, dude. Avengers Doomsday comes out in December, and we've already had 4 teaser trailers. And a fuck ton of announcements and intentional leaks. And I mean, the hype for that movie's off the charts. I don't think they would have even needed 4 trailers to capture the hype behind that movie. Because the concept is so good alone, you don't need that much advertising. And that's the issue now with this. With The Mandalorian. Is Disney still thinks Star Wars is this bigger than life, larger than life, massive brand that everyone in the entire world loves and will go see if it has Star Wars on it. And that's not the case anymore. Because they've destroyed it with shit after shit after shit after shit. And as there are those good things in there, but like, you don't have people flocking to theaters for Star Wars the way that they were even back in 2015 for Force Awakens. Like, you just don't have that anymore because it's so diluted. Like, having a new Star Wars thing come out nowadays is just like, okay, this is the next thing, like, it's not a big deal anymore because there's so much of it, and then so much of it is just slop. And The Mandalorian and Grogu has a total budget of $166.4 million, I believe, which is incredibly small for a Star Wars feature film in 2026. I mean, look at the economy, man. Like, that is really not a big budget at all. Which does not help, it does not help going against the claims that it's just one really long episode of the show. Because, I mean, if that's their whole budget, including marketing, like, they're cooked. Like, they can only afford one trailer. And if that's the case, then this makes sense why they're not marketing. And they came out on an article and they said, we don't need marketing because people are so excited because they love these characters so much. Really? Because last time I checked, Mando season 3 did fucking horrible. That's the last time I checked. People did not give a royal fuck about The Mandalorian after that season. If this were like if we stopped at season 2 and this was the next thing, yeah, sure, people would be stoked. Not anymore. Not after you molest Boba Fett and rape Mando. Like, what's left at this point? Like, there's no hype. I was the biggest Mando fan ever. Those first 2 seasons, I think, are some of the best television ever made. People can call me shill for that, but I think it's true. Those 2 seasons were life-changing, like, just genuinely, like, they were huge for me as a person. That was just a really, really big deal. And big point in my filmmaker life. Those 2 seasons were essential to me. And then they come along saying, "Oh, we're doing this 3rd season," and in the trailer they milk this shot of an Order 66 sequence with what looks like, a door being cut open by a lightsaber, and then it's just bait. It's just bait, and it's nothing. Keller and Beck was great. The only good scene in that 3rd season is the Keller and Beck flashback. That was sick. Everything else, and that doesn't even have to do with The Mandalorian. That's just like a totally different thing. That's like a different piece of a different show that they just threw in there so that people would have something to talk about. But the rest of that shit was horrible. It was just straight up some of the worst television I've ever seen. How do you go from the 2 seasons of some of the best television I've ever seen to 1 season of one of the worst pieces of television I've ever seen? I mean, there's this episode, Chapter 21, The Pirate. It is the most blocky, shitty dialogue I have ever heard. It is shot like the most bland lighting in the entire universe. Like, it is just bad. It's so bad. The choreography is blocky. Everything about that, just that season is blocky and corporate and fake. Nothing feels like art in that 3rd season. It is all just like corporate slop. Like, Mando season 3 is corporate slop. And I mean, just from the trailers of Mando and Grogu alone, it's already not as sloppy as the 3rd season of Mando. Just from the trailers, I can tell that they actually have direction, because you have Jon Favreau directing. And he's extremely talented, so you already have that vision that a project needs. Any artistic project needs vision. Mando season 3 don't got any of that. It doesn't. It just doesn't, dude. So, yeah, people are not excited for this movie. No one gives a shit. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. It'll be great," and that's it. You're not gonna have people waiting outside the theater for a day. You're not gonna have, if this were a time before digital buying tickets, you're not gonna have people fighting over seats in theaters like they were at Spider-Man No Way Home. You're not gonna have people struggling to find a seat at any screening of this film. It's going to be empty. It's going to be like The Flash. You're going to be able to just buy a seat wherever you want, not pay for a private screening, and have a full fucking movie theater to yourself. That's what this is going to be. And they've brought that upon themselves. I'm excited for this movie. I think it's great. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. It's going to be full of real Star Wars material. That's what I did appreciate about the Super Bowl ad, is that feels more like Star Wars than the vast majority of anything they've made in the past, 5 years since Mando Season 2. I think that was very Star Wars coded, and it was just 30 seconds. And then you have the main trailer, right? And there's all these creatures and AT-ATs and this big adventure and all, it's like, it gives off Star Wars totally. Totally. Like, that's not even up for debate. Like, that is just so Star Wars coded. I mean, like, just so Star Wars coded. So I'm stoked. I'm really excited for that. It's just going to be, well, I wouldn't say really, I'm not like counting down like I would be for Doomsday or anything like that. But I'm excited. I'm really excited, But I'm not like anxiously awaiting it and theorizing what could happen. It's like, no, it's just going to be a solid Star Wars movie. That's what it's going to be. I don't think it has a chance of being really, really great like Rogue One or Solo. Those movies were really well done, thoroughly. And the stories meant something. They taught you things. They are Star Wars. Those movies capture the values that Star Wars should have. And, I don't know if this movie's really going to reach that level just because it hasn't proved that to me yet. Solo as a concept, you're exploring Han's origin, right? So that alone has substance. Rogue One is like one of the most pivotal events in the Star Wars canon timeline. Like, I'd say almost behind the Death Star blowing up in Order 66, that's like huge. That's the first time the Rebel Alliance fully mobilizes in a battle against the Galactic Empire. That is huge. That is objectively a massive big deal, right? So that has substance. And that was just like an original trilogy film. Like, it was shot just like the original trilogy. It was written like it. The characters that you have Darth Vader, you had Bail Organa, you had Leia, right? Like, it just felt like the original trilogy. It just felt like an extra original trilogy movie. That's what it felt like to me. Sure, you don't have like a lot of Jedi and Force stuff, but it didn't need that. That was a purely militaristic conflict that they were covering. And having Vader in it was an extra thing that they did for us. Like the hallway scene on a you know, on a level of necessity, technically you could have cut that out and the movie would have still been narratively great. But they added that in there because the people who worked on that movie were real fans and they gave a shit. And they're like, fans want to see cool Darth Vader shit when they can. This is a perfect opportunity. And they did it. And it's one of the most iconic scenes in cinematic history. Not even up for debate. So that's the kind of excitement you had. You know, James Earl Jones coming back, voicing Darth Vader in a brand new movie. First time Vader's been in live action since 1983. That is building hype, bro. You know what isn't building hype? Saying, Mando and Grogu embark on an adventure. I had 2 great seasons of that. Why should I have now a movie? What are you doing differently? Mando Season 1 does things very differently than Mando Season 2. The quest that they go on. Mando Season 1 is about Mando and Grogu's connection and them figuring each other out. That's what, and us as an audience discovering these characters while they go on these fun missions. Mando Season 2 is about Mando feeling obligated on a mission to return Grogu back to his people. That's Season 2. And you would chart the course the whole time. Then Season 3 is just like goy slop. It's goy slop. Mando Season 3 is fucking goy slop. I hate that shit. Mando Season 3, Book of Boba Fett, The Acolyte, and Obi-Wan Kenobi are just pure goy slop. Except Obi-Wan, there are some moments in that show that I really like. And I think actually do a really good job of moving the story forward. Boba Fett, there are also some moments that I think push the story forward. Those other 2, no. And the Boba Fett shit, that's just Mando. It's just like Mando 2.5. Like, that's those, like, that's really, like, the pieces I like about that show are not having to do with Boba. It's having to do with Mando and Luke and Grogu. That's what I like about that show. So it ain't even Boba Fett. All they did with Boba Fett was fucking molest him to death. That's all they did with him. But yeah, like Mando and Grogu, they're just, for your average audience, like, what the fuck do they have to be excited about? Outside of it's just a Star Wars movie. Nothing. There are no stakes. There are no stakes. And this is the same thing with Starfighter, is I'm looking forward to seeing a new era of Star Wars and seeing what they do with it. But the casual fans are just like, what is this? Like, what does this have to do with like, what the fuck? And then people are always like, well, episode 1 is that way too, wasn't it? It's like, no. The prequels were teased for years before they came out. I want to see how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. I want to see how Obi-Wan became the wise man he was in A New Hope. I want to see what happened to the Jedi. I want to see, what is this Clone Wars? That's fucking buildup. And those movies did phenomenal. All of them. All of them. All 3 of those movies kicked ass. And like, that's the thing, is you cannot build excitement by having nothing to be excited about. And that's the problem with these 2 movies. No one gives a fucking shit. Like, are we not understanding And it shows Disney's level of care. They don't give a fucking shit. They have, for example, they have Marvel. They have the entire IP of Marvel and most of its characters. You have Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Hulk, fucking working your way with Spider-Man sometimes. They don't own Spider-Man, but they can make projects with him. They have fucking the Guardians of the Galaxy. Look at all these characters you have. You have Blade, you have Punisher. Fucking Punisher's so underused. Like, you have all these characters. And then what do? What's the project that you approve? Wonder Man. And not only are we gonna make a show about a who gives a shit character, but we're gonna make that who gives a shit to even more who gives a shit by taking the whole Marvel superhero aspect out and just making it this drama series. That's all it is. It's not like, sure, the themes and the whatever and the vibe is so Marvel. Sure. You know what? Fine. But there's nothing cool. Like, it's just... Yeah. Why? Why spend millions on that when you could spend millions on making something that will be remembered forever? Wolverine versus Hulk. I want to see that. And seeing how those characters interact with each other and why they're fighting. World War Hulk. You have all these ways you could go. You have all these ways you could go, and they don't take any of them. And they just stick with this bullshit of Wonder Man. Go to Star Wars. You have Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, Darth Maul, which they're actually using. Finally, it took fucking over 10 years for them to realize maybe you should do something with this guy. Palpatine, fucking Cad Bane, Boba Fett. They do nothing with those characters. And instead they go, you know what, guys? Let's make new characters. And all those new characters and new timelines and new shit they make suck. The High Republic is shit. No one likes the High Republic. That's why it stopped. Because it wasn't selling. No one cares about the High Republic except for far left, authentic Disney fans who are paid off by Disney. They're the only ones who care about the High Republic. No one else does. And I'm being honest. Like, I'm not just saying that to say that. I'm being purely honest with you. Every single High Republic fan I've seen matches at least one of those 4 things or 3, I don't know, things I named. Usually all of them. So, like, I hate to broad stroke, but sometimes you have to because it's just statistically true. Like, that's just... I don't want to ever, that's the one thing, like, I cannot even bring myself to appreciate any aspect of the High Republic. Like, none of it. Zero. There's nothing. Like, the sequels, I can at least go, the First Order looks pretty cool. Or, something shallow. Or, the Millennium Falcon scene on Jakku where they're flying around shooting down TIE fighters. That's sick. It is. It's the fucking Falcon shooting down TIE fighters through a destroyed remnant Star Destroyer. Like, there's nothing not cool about that. So, like, there are things in the... Why? Like, how is this possible? How am I able to appreciate the sequels more than the High Republic? An entire wave of comics and books that you hadn't touched yet, right? Like, it's because they can't make new characters good. No, all the new characters they make, nobody cares about. And that's why Mando and Grogu even got greenlit, because those are the two characters that have really, hit the ground running. The Ghost Crew, even the Rebels characters, I don't think people would rush to go see an Ezra thing or a Sabine thing. No one would care. They'd be like, who the fuck is that? But The Mandalorian Season 1 was such a pop culture phenomenon that those two characters are well known, like Boba Fett and Darth Vader. They are. And even though it might pain me to say that, it's true. Like, they are really well... Not Mando. I love Mando. I always have. Like, the character of Mando, I really think he's great. Grogu, also I used to think he's great, till they just made him a cash-grabbing puppet fuck, in season 3. And so far, from what I've seen of these trailers, that's all he is in this new movie too. Is just, oh, look how cute Grogu is. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I want to see Grogu do? I want to see him using the Force. I want to see him training to be a Mandalorian, the next Mandalorian Jedi. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him going, eating his fucking blue mac. We already saw that. We already saw that in Mando. It's done. We're done with that shit. We need to progress the character forward. I don't care about fucking Grogu eating snacks just so that all the blue-haired, nose-piercing people online can get all excited about that because they hate their lives, so that they have to find something else to be excited about. I don't want to see more of that. I want to see Grogu being a cool, well-made character like he was originally designed to be. And now that Kathy's out of the way, this is their chance to do that. And if they don't do that in this movie, my hope's really already lost for Grogu. But they could potentially reignite it if they do something interesting here. But we'll see. We never know. Okay, now I'm going to see. I had some things written down about the Walt Disney Company and some of their new goals with their new leadership. So if you didn't know, Bob Iger is gone. He's going to be gone in March. He's stepping down. Josh D'Amaro and Dana Walden are the new people in control. So, it's like Bob Iger, bittersweet with him because he surely helped fuck Star Wars, but at the same time, he's done so much for Disney parks, and he's done a lot for, the Walt Disney Company in general, like just Disney stuff. He's been really beneficial there, and he is a really, really smart. He's not an idiot. Like, he knew what he was doing, except his only value was money. So that's where I didn't like him. That's literally all he cared about was, am I profiting? He's really smart. He just only cared about money and appeasing to whoever's in office. Because you'll notice that when Biden was in office, he would do all the left-wing things, and then now that Trump's in office, he repealed all of that and started only doing these like more MAGA things, so like that's like where he just appeals to who's in office and then makes money and he's happy. That he was just like a corporate CEO. He didn't care about story. He didn't care about the weight that his company had. He'd overcharge all the prices at the parks. He makes everything $1 million. He pays the least amount of money. That's just how he is. So, we all know why. So, now that he's gone, I'm like, okay, maybe this next person, I know Josh D'Amaro's been in the game for a little while, has been huge to the theme parks, like very, very beneficial to the theme parks. And I was like, this is great, because he I think he's going to be a lot better than Bob. He's not going to be great, but he's going to be better than Bob. I had no idea who Dana Walden is, right? So I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this is, but whatever. Let's give it a shot. What comes out? What are Disney's top 2 priorities right now? I'm going to be honest with y'all right now. Disney's top 2 priorities that I have heard of right now, this is official, you can look it up. AI and profit. That's it. AI and profit. And not profit from movie theaters, not profit from theme parks, but profit from Disney Plus. We're cooked. This is who's running the Walt Disney. This is their goals. If they had a big whiteboard, goals of the most successful independent film studio ever to be created, which, believe it or not, at one point in time, Disney was independent. Walt Disney was a pinnacle innovator in America. He's an artist. He was a GOAT. What did they do? They turned it into a corporation. But Disney started out, Paramount, Universal, Warner, but those have been corporations since the start. Disney was not, which sounds crazy because now they're the biggest, one of the biggest, probably Netflix, unfortunately, because there's all the goys out there who will just watch fucking anything. Unfortunately, now Netflix is probably biggest, but Disney's in top 3 for sure. So, agenda of the Walt Disney Company: AI integration and money, 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 money. And it gets worse. Because not only is it money, 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 and AI, they want to premiere movies in Fortnite. Fortnite Battle Royale. They want you to not go to the movie theater, but sit on your chuddy couch with your chuddy controller, with your chuddy brain, with your Doritos and Sprite and Coke, sitting down with your controller, with your paid skin, paid emote, paid pickaxe, paid back bling, paid Xbox, paid ass, paying to watch a movie in a game with the game giving them money while the movie's giving them money. This is mind-blowing. This is a level of greed and capitalism that I have not heard of. I have not heard of this level of just. This is just spiritually Israeli. It's spiritually Israeli. It really is. That's what it is. It's spiritually Israeli. Oh my God, bro. Fucking movie premieres in Fortnite. You're gonna sit in fucking Loot Lake watching Avengers Doomsday on a bitch-ass screen. And then every 5 seconds, you're gonna have some idiot 5-year-old kid with their pickaxe doing their stupid emotes in front. This is what they want. Movie theaters are gone. The movie business is gone. They want you to watch movies in Fortnite now so that they can make quadruple the money because they're so bad at making movies now that they don't make enough from it anymore because there's no creativity, because all they care about is AI and profit. So if all you care about is AI and profit, how are you going to make good content? Because those are not art things. Art is, if your main goal was good stories, creativity, and new ideas, and creative freedom, then profit comes naturally. Sure, you might not get $4 quadrillion billion, but you know what? You don't need that. You don't. If you want people to love you, love your company, love what you're doing, then don't be so damn greedy. Don't be so damn greedy. Don't make me pay $9 for an ice cream sandwich from a cart that's frozen solid in Disneyland. Don't make me pay a flat rate of $10 anytime I go to downtown Disney because it's required you pay $10, but you can validate the rest off. I should be able to validate all my parking off. Like, what are we doing? Right? Like, these are the things you could be removing. Hey, maybe we shouldn't charge people $40 fucking to set their car in a parking lot while they go spend $6,000 in the park. Like, how about we make it 20? 20 for all day parking. Maximum. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, seriously. Like, this is not. And then they come out and they're all like, oh, this is art. We care so much. And all the Disney directors go, oh yeah, Disney's so great. They really give me the free. No, they don't. No, they don't. Like, people have no integrity. No one will come out and say the truth these days. They just don't. They just sit there, they get their paycheck, and they shut the fuck up, and they go in a corner. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. The next generation ain't doing that, because, like, this is ridiculous. The next generation of creatives are not doing that. And it's already proven. We don't want to deal with this shit. Like, we don't. See, And the thing is, what's weird is I go to Disneyland a lot, because there was so much vision and creativity that went into that place that I find it to be like inspirational. It brings new ideas to my head, whatever. I like going there for those reasons. I don't go there to waste time, to be a good goy. I go there because it creatively inspires me, and it creatively fills my creative pocket, which is endless. I wouldn't even say it's a pocket. It's the entire being of me is creativity. I don't leave room for really anything else. It's just creativity and vision and logic, and that's it. I don't go by profit and Oika Vault and all these, like, this is the problem, right? And it's like Disneyland, all their new stuff feels like slop. Like Galaxy's Edge was the last thing they did that had vision behind it. Everything else just feels like half-baked corporate slop. Everything. Avengers Camp is like, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and it depends on the day. It's like they're just not trying anymore. They're not trying anymore. And it's like, with this, it's just half-baked. They put 2% effort into all their products and then expect $6 billion in return. And it's like, you're not getting that. You're not. And like, yeah, oh God, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. And then they have so many chances to make money by making people buy shit, right? Like back in the day, you had loads of merchandise for everything. I mean, Star Wars had 2 aisles by itself. Marvel had an aisle. DC had its own aisle. I mean, you just had aisles of really cool collectibles and toys for kids and games and whatever, video games, you name it. And now you go to Target, and what was once 2 aisles straight of Star Wars is now this. Like the width of my wall. Not width, the height of my wall. And that's it. And width, actually. Length, height, and width of my wall. Just right here. That's it. And it never changes. It's the same shit. When there's a new thing at Target, that's like generational. Oh, look, they have the OSHA Anastasia black. Like, what happened? What the hell happened? Like, that stuff is what makes money. Merchandise is what makes money. George proved this. Look at the. Do you see all the money he made? That's how, partially why he was even able to keep making those movies. It was because how much the merchandise sold. And it wasn't slop back then. It was cool. It was interesting. It was art. Even though it's mass manufactured, the design of that item is unique and it's interesting. So I would get it, right? Like, for example, let me show you something cool that I have here. I'll show you my Batman really quick. God damn, water bottle. Look at this. This is mass manufactured, right? Like, obviously. It's McFarlane. It's the part of the McFarlane series. But you see how cool this is? Like, check this out, right? You have the kryptonite spear that comes with it. And then what did they do? They're like, all right, well, this is going to shine. So what did they do? They, like, painted Batman's side here with, like, the green paint. And this is a piece of art as well. I mean, look, it's designed. There's grooves on certain elements. There's color decisions made. You could compare this to other things in the franchise. You compare this to the Dark Knight Returns one. This is from Batman vs. Superman, a movie which I really like and I think is really good as an art piece, and people don't understand that. People look at that movie as corporate slop. They're crazy. I don't see that. I see it as the opposite. I see Batman vs. Superman as a really bold, unique film that stands out from most superhero movies today. But you see my point. Like, this is cool. I would buy this. You know what I'm not going to buy? You know what I'm not going to buy? Osha Anasea action figure. You know what I'm not going to buy? Basil action figure. You know what I'm not going to buy? The same two Chud action figures you've had in the section for 6 months. I'm not going to buy those either. So, I mean, it's not that hard of a concept to understand, really and truly. It's just knowing what people want. And it's like, you know what pisses me off is having nothing. Because I love collecting this stuff because it is art. And you have so many talented people over at Hasbro who make crazy shit all the time. And you don't put it on store shelves and you say it's limited edition and it sells out in 5 seconds and no one can buy it. Like, that's the problem, right? Is it's like you're missing out on making so much money by just not producing product. That's the whole message of this video, is not producing product and expecting money. That's like if I said, I don't even know how to give you an example of this. It's just like, it's just stupid. It's like it's like saying, I don't know, I want to make $1 million. Let's be more. I want to make $1,000 off of selling 4 of these cool, badass Transformers pencils with Optimus Prime and Bumblebee on it. It's like, sure, this thing's cool, but you can't make that money from the little bit that you sell. Or Mando and Grogu, right? Like, you're not going to make a lot of money off a movie that you've barely put out there, right? Like, you can't just sit back and expect people to flock to a movie that has no advertising. Like, it's simple. So that's really my video for today, is just the lack of marketing, the lack of effort, and the lack of vision, the lack of creativity in Star Wars and Marvel and the entire Walt Disney Company right now, because it is depressing. It is depressing going to these stores and just remembering what it was like back in the good old days when you had these books and toys and things that meant something to you, and people could call it, people are going to confuse, people really don't understand. Goislop's something that does nothing but benefit them, the elites, and it's just to make you weaker and to distract you. These things, these collectibles, these items have been part of my journey as an artist to making me where I am right now, which is anti-establishment, anti-government, anti-authoritarian, anti-everything they are. So, like, there's something there, like, whether or not you get it or, like, there's something there, and not everyone's going to find Star Wars collectibles to be cool, and that's fine. Not everyone's going to find any collectibles to be cool. But I don't think it's fair to label all those things as Goislop. Nowadays, they are for the most part, because they just don't, and it's like they just don't put effort into it. There's no human substance behind it. That's another thing Goislop is. It's just something with no human soul behind it. Like, it's just slop. Like, it's just pumped out there. Like, Mando Season 3 is the definition of Goislop, right? It's just pumped out to be pumped out, and there's no meaning, right? It's like if they made this Ben Affleck Batman, armored Batman figure, and they didn't put the green on the side, they didn't give you this, and they didn't paint anything, and they just threw it out. And they didn't give you a cool box, they didn't put any effort into it. That's really what it is. I think he has a wired cape. Oh yeah, check this out. Wired cape. I love wired capes. So sick, because you can pose them really cool. Anyways, that's my app session for the day. I'm done. Disney, fire your marketing team. They fucking suck. Let me know when you need help. I got you. I will fix the entire. People are gonna be like, you're so egotistical, and I will fix the entire. If you put me in charge of Disney right now, I would reframe, restructure the whole thing with a bunch of other brilliant people who are competent, who are purposefully shunned down below so that they don't have their voices heard. I will take those people, move them up here, move the snobby, shitty, business focused crap people, fire them. They don't even get to move down, they're gone. And we will work together with me as the leader to make Walt Disney Company great again. Star Wars will be awesome. Marvel will be awesome. Frickin' Disney will be creative again. We'll do cool shit with Disney. I have some ideas for what we could do with Disney. Pixar will be really cool again. You know, you're not gonna have hoppers. You're gonna have like brand new ideas, like brand new Star Wars level ideas through Disney and Pixar. That's the one thing I want. I think Disney's a creative. If Disney stayed the way Walt intended it to be, it would be the most powerful, creative powerhouse you have ever seen. And that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to do nothing but make Disney the greatest entertainment, inspirational artist thing ever. That's literally my life goal. Make Disney not corporate slop. You know, that's literally that, like, you know, and Star Wars is under Disney, so it's everything. Because I love Star Wars is my favorite, right? But I also love Marvel and I love Disney and I love Pixar. You know, I love all of it. That's the thing, is Disney's the most, all their IP and companies there are things that I care about the most. You know, I love DC too, but you know, if I were to do Warner Bros, that's more like dealing with like, that's also really important, is we should also have someone, you know, over at Warner Bros who's like using make Warner Bros more like, not like A24, because A24 is its own thing, but like kind of like that, where like you don't interfere creatively and you just let the directors come in and make cool shit under the company vision. That's more like what Warner Bros should be. And then of course they have DC and Harry Potter, so those would have to be maintained like Disney. You know, Paramount would deal with Transformers, but then they'd also kind of be like Warner Bros, where they're dealing with, you know, a bunch of different new independent projects. Like, we can do this. We're going to be the ones to bring movies back. And these old people are going to be, they're gone. Like, they're done. They're the problem. You know, we've got this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. This is like, you don't understand. All major, even like leaders in the world have been inspired by art. That's like their motivating factor was art. Like, all of them. They're not just motivated because of nothing. Like, they've seen things that have inspired them, that have meant something to them, that caused them to go and want to change the world. That's what's happened to me. Why am I saying this? Why am I like, I want to... No student filmmaker has the aspirations I have. Has the aspirations of, I want to not rule like a dictator, like Bob Iger over Disney. I want Disney to go from this kind of hierarchical scale to this. I want to level everything out. This is what I want. I want Disney to be a creative powerhouse where the creatives care and love for each other and work hard together to make cool shit. That's what I want. I'm here for the people. I'm not here to be a corporate asshole to tell you, we don't want, how about you change this, change that, contract. None of that shit. This is going to be pure, think of it like Yeezy. Yeezy is a bunch of the best clothing designer people working together with Ye being the leader. It's like that. And then you have this really unique clothing that's unparalleled. That's really what I'm trying to do, is that, you know, like everyone who works at Yeezy they're not enslaved. They all have vision. They're all like purposefully working together and coordinating everything. I've seen the videos with like him with all the designs on the floor, and he's with all his people, and he's talking about, that's the kind of leader I want to be. I want to work with people. I'm not saying I'm going to fix it by myself. Like, I know there's other people who care out there, and I need those people to come with me, and we are going to run this house, dude. And it's like, you know what? People are going to say, this is unrealistic. This is whatever. When's the last time, they always say you're egotistical, you're this. When's the last time someone told you to be great? That's what I'm going to leave you with today. When's the last time someone told you you could do anything, which you can? I firmly believe in that. You quite literally can do anything. You can. There are ways to do everything in this world. Now, obviously, there's an extent where sometimes it gets too inhumane for yourself to do it, but still technically you could. But like, you really can do anything. You are the same species as George Lucas. You're the same species as Albert Einstein. You are the same species as Kanye West. You are the same species as George Washington and John F. Kennedy and Julius Caesar. We're the same species. We have the capacity to do anything. And that's what they want you to say, oh, I can't, oh, it's too hard. That's what they want you to think, but I'm trying to be one of the people to motivate everyone to realize they want to make you think that, oh, this is just inspirational edit shit. It's like, no, this is, you quite literally can. And given my circumstances and my past so far, it's looking even more likely for this to actually happen. So let's work together and be the absolute greatest we can possibly be. And listen to the Lord. And we will change Disney. We will change the entertainment industry. We'll change the world. We're going to change the world. Don't limit yourself. Don't work a stupid office job at these current corporations. Be creative. Do something that matters to the world. And don't let anyone tell you if an idea is too rash or stupid or whatever. Just listen to your heart. Do what you feel and say what you feel. And that's how we're going to defeat them, is through the battle, the victory of good ideas versus control. That's what it is. We're going to win through good ideas. So, yeah, that's it. Leave a like, subscribe, share. You'll see the next video when it comes out. May the force be with you always. Goodbye.